Let's get my comments coming up. Good evening everyone and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs with Nifty Nozzles. My name is Tracy Mann from Tracy Mann Cakes, and this evening I'm here to show you how to make a chocolate Christmas wreath cake. Not a tree, it is a wreath, but I'm going to show you how to do that using some of my chocolate transfer sheets. So I'm going to be showing you how to temper chocolate, and I'm going to what else am I going to do? I'm going to show you how to make some cinnamon, what are they called?
Sticks.
Cinnamon sticks. I've got Kelly with me. Say hello, Kelly.
Hello.
Kelly's going to come and say hello later, so because she's here every Tuesday night talking, so that you can actually see what she looks like. And we're also going to be, I'm going to show you how to do some chocolate stars as well that you can put on this particular Christmas chocolate wreath. Not a tree, because I said it was a tree earlier, it's not a tree. And I'm going to do it all on a cake, and I've got some buttercream here to do some piping as well, so we can put it all together that way. So, oh, here we go, some comments coming up now. So that's what we're going to be doing. So, and we will be finished before the bake-off, because I've done a few backup things to make sure we are going to be finished before the bake-off, because it's the final tonight. So next week I won't have this problem, and I can carry on, can't I? Because I'm always a bit conscious that I have to get this done in an hour and a half. It's quite tight. So yeah, next week I can go on a bit, can't I? A bit more freedom next week. I'm always in a big panic. Right, okay, so let's make my tape measure, because I know that the first question they're going to ask me is how big is this cake tonight. So let me just measure it for you. That would help, wouldn't it? So the cake that I'm doing tonight is an 8-inch round cake. I'll just change screen so you can have a look at it. There it is. Let's take this down as well. So it's an 8-inch round cake. It's not very deep. Haven't done it very deep. It's one layer actually of a cake. Now the reason I've done it like that, again, is because a wreath is fairly flat anyway. And what I wanted to do is, because I'm going to be putting shards in the side of it or across the top of it, I just wanted it to stay quite low. But you can do this double height if you want to, or if you've made a cake and cut it in half, you can make 2 of these, can't you? So there you go, you get 2 out of 1 cake. So this isn't very high, it's only just over 1 inch high, and it's 8 inches across that way for those of you that are inch-wise, centimetre-wise, I better be good, hadn't I? 20 centimetres approximately, and 2.5 to 3 centimetres high. So quite large but shallow tonight. So that's what the plan is anyway. So I've got some buttercream. I have got some brown buttercream that I've made with Colour Splash Brown, and also some green as well. Who said I could go until 9 o'clock? Nikki, oh, that's my cut-off point, is it? 9 o'clock. We'll see how we go on that, shall we? It is a bit tight, and last week was a bit tight, and this week should be fine, because I've been very organised, because I knew that I had to get finished on time today, you see, so I've got absolutely everything under control, she says. I will still be here at 6:30 next week. I won't be starting any later though, because I'm sure I'll find loads to do, but there we go. Right, okay, so let's have a look at what we're doing. So we have got a particular transfer sheet in tonight. We are using one called Christmas Branches, which I've had in a long time, and I'd planned this all along that I was going to do this Christmas wreath, and it's just taken me a while to get around to doing it, but that is what we're going to be doing tonight. For those of you that don't know what transfer sheets are, let me show you how big they are for a start. They are huge. They're 40 centimetres by 30 centimetres, so they aren't really big.
A3.
It's my little commentary running over there. And they do have, going all the way around the outside edge there, you can see there's like a clear, I'll hold that up actually so you can see that. There you go. You can see where the pattern isn't on that sheet as well. You do need to cut that off, because if you don't, actually, where have I put those scissors? There they are. The chocolate will set on it, and then you will end up with all sorts of funny things on it. Sometimes it's even got the look, they've got the name of the company that's made them as well. You don't want that on your cakes. You have to cut that piece off. So they are acetate sheets with sprayed cocoa butter on them, so they are edible. They are available on my website, not the Sugar and Crumbs page, so it's tracyscakes.co.uk, and you'll find them on there. If you can't make your mind up which ones you like, there is an assorted pack as well, so we'll choose for you. I'll get Kelly to do that. So that's what we're going to be using. Now this one here is actually really good. You can see my hand through it, so you can see it's actually a little bit see-through. You can use it on white, milk and dark. It will show up on all 3 chocolates, but we are going to do it on white tonight, mainly just so that you can see it on the camera, and you'll be able to see it really nice and clearly. So this one again is called Christmas Branches, Let me put it onto the other camera so you can have a look. There you go, that's what it looks like. So it's a really pretty pattern and you will be able to see it. So who's with me tonight? It's Kelly. Come on then. Oh, hi! That's Kelly. That's my clone. When she was little, I used to walk. I tell her this loads of times. When I was little, and people used to stop me and say, "There's no reason to clone people." And then you've got a daughter that looks like that, so she's very similar to me, aren't you, Kelly?
Just like 5 inches taller.
It's just she is a lot taller than me. I'm only 5'4". She's how tall are you now?
5'9".
5'9". You see, so she's head and shoulders over me. But yes, Kelly's in tonight. I'm sure she'll come back on again later on and talk to everybody. So won't you, Kel?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's here to. If you have any questions tonight, you want to ask anything, then do please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Kelly will either answer by writing an answer, or she will ask me, and we'll go from there. I'm just cutting off these edges while I'm stood here to make. They're all saying hi, Kelly now.
Hi, everyone.
She's having a lot of fun doing this, you know, aren't you, Kel?
I am.
You are. Right, so for this particular cake tonight, I'm going to use the whole sheet, near enough. So I'm just cutting off the edges now, ready for when we're going to start doing our tempering our chocolate. So we're going to use white chocolate tonight. I'm going to use Calabao. Let's put this down. So we're going to use this chocolate here. That's what we're using, which is white. And we're going to temper it. So we're going to be putting it in the microwave, using the microwave method. And I'm just going to put that on camera there. There we go. So let's take out the chocolate so you can have a look at that. So I'm going to do, actually I'm going to do about half this bag. So what is that? It's at least 500 grams. So it's half a kilo bag. So it's about 500 grams, I think, in here. That'll be fine because I've made some backup ones anyway, just because of time tonight. And we're going to be doing this in the microwave. And what I intend to do is make little shards that will fit into a Christmas wreath cake. That's the plan anyway. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. So we're going to get this bit done first. I'm just moving my chair because otherwise I'll end up on the floor. We're going to do the tempering side first, get it in the fridge, and then I will look at some of the decorations. We'll get those all sorted, and then when it comes back out the fridge, we'll be able to start assembling the cake. I can look over Mum's head. I know that's you, Kelly. Right, okay, so let's start with the tempering. We've done this many, many times. For those of you that have not seen this before, this is the way that I do it. It's quick, it's easy, it's very useful for if you're in the home. You don't need a thermometer, you don't need a marble slab. If you go onto YouTube, put in the word tempering, it can get quite complicated. This is the most straightforward that you can basically do this. How can you, what does that say? Lister chocolate, what's that? I'm not sure what that is. If you can tell me, maybe it's temper. It might be an iPad thing, you know, where they predictive text changes it for you. It's not very helpful, is it? We're going to temper chocolate. That is what we're doing now. So we're going to start with a plastic bowl and a, what did I say? Plastic bowl, plastic spatula. I know I'm having a brain freeze here for the moment. My Calabao chocolate and my microwave, which is on full power. So we're going to start with 30 seconds. So let's get this underway. Now, whilst I'm talking, I'll just explain what's going on. So we are going to heat the chocolate. We're going to very, very carefully creep it up until we get to the point where it's melted. So what we're going to do is slow down the melting process and just take it up step by step by step. So we start with 30 seconds and then we go up 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir, and it does take a period of time between 2 and 3 minutes. I have to do it live because otherwise nothing works, so I have to do it live anyway, so I can't cheat and speed it up, which is very tempting sometimes when you've been here a while, but that's what we've got to do.
How can you luster chocolate evenly?
How can you luster chocolate evenly? Oh, I see, that was the question, was it? You can brush it on if you want to brush it on with one of those, I was looking around for the one I had earlier, that like quite big sort of makeup type brushes, or you can paint it on with cocoa butter. That should be okay. Yeah, I washed it up to put it somewhere. Are you talking about something like those chocolate bomb things that people have been making? Maybe it's to do with that. I think quite a few people have been using the luster colours on there, so you might get some comments there. Did you do 3D trees? I did.
Are you doing any painting discounts for Black Friday?
Am I doing any painting discounts that would be telling, wouldn't it? My courses are already on offer. Okay, so the bauble cake, which is the one I had last week, which is this one, is still going to be running through to Black Friday. Okay, so this will still be on offer now. It was originally meant to end Monday, but I'm now moving it through until Monday after Black Friday. So this one is still on offer. So that one is £15 for that lesson. So if you want to benefit from that, that's still on offer. I keep forgetting it's Black Friday.
I think it's just become a whole week thing, hasn't it? It's no longer Black Friday, it's Cyber Monday, and it's a week of this and a week of that.
There you go, someone's telling you can luster with a brush and they turn out amazing. I'm thinking it might be those chocolate bomb things, maybe. Is that
Well,
what?
I think you have to buff the lusters in rather than just dusting it on top.
Yeah.
You have to like rub it in.
With a nice big brush, like a makeup brush, like a blusher brush, something like that. See how that goes. Have a try. You can always try on the back of a bit of chocolate and then you can eat it if it goes wrong. Well, I can't, but anyway, you can. So the process I'm doing at the moment, if anybody hasn't seen this before, is 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir. I talk a lot while it's going on, but that's what's happening. So it's 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir, and we'll keep going until we get to the consistency of double cream. That is what we're looking for, okay? Once we get to that consistency, I will show you what it looks like, because at the moment it doesn't look any different from when I first put it in the microwave, because sometimes when you put it in the microwave it's just all the little buttons and it just takes quite a period of time for it to go through and to melt. We're getting there though. At the moment, all it's doing is it's getting a bit duller. That's how I would describe it. It's not really doing much more than that at the moment. As soon as it starts to change, I will bring it up onto the camera so you can see it. The most important thing is you must keep stirring it. So the stirring is as important as the heat. So make sure every time you pull it out of the microwave, I have to keep an eye on it, that you do give it a really good stir as well, because that will help to stop any hot spots that fall in the chocolate. So what we're trying to do is evenly distribute this this heat throughout the chocolate so that we don't have a problem with hot spots. And I've got eyes in the back of my head while I'm checking this. I know roughly how long 10 seconds is. I can get about 3 sentences out and then that's it, if that. So it is not a very long time at all. There we go. So it's just starting to change now. It's starting to get dull. So it was originally shiny. It's now starting to get a bit dull, and you can feel it starting to get a bit more tacky, I suppose. If I show you on camera, it won't look any different at all at the moment. It just looks like buttons still. But the cycle's roughly 2 or 3 minutes, and you cannot cheat. It's really hard because you really want to cheat, especially when you're live, but you can't. You have to do it nice and slowly.
Did you guess how much chocolate to use?
Did I guess?
Yeah.
I guess most things.
You used about 500.
I used about 500 grams, which is half a kilo bag to do this. So, and that's just to do, I think it will do a whole sheet, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't, it's absolutely fine. Does white chocolate take longer than milk chocolate to temper? No, it's the other way round. Milk chocolate takes longer than white chocolate. White chocolate's the shortest one, followed by milk, followed by dark. And if you want to put the ruby in there as well, ruby is between milk and white. So you have white chocolate, then ruby, then milk, and then dark. So it will take you longest to do the dark, and then from there down to white. White's the quickest. That's why I normally demonstrate this one, because it doesn't take so long, you see. But I've done all 4, I think, on here now.
Yeah.
I've done all 4 demos in all 4 chocolates. So if you are unsure, let me show you what it's doing at the moment so you can have a look. So at the moment we're just on this, you can see it's starting to stick together. What I want to be really clear with this is the time element with this. It really is important not to cheat and to speed this up in just a few extra seconds, it's not worth it. So, oh, ruby chocolate. Where's the ruby chocolate?
It's behind you. You've got a tree in it. It's just pink chocolate.
It's pink chocolate, ruby chocolate, and I did a demonstration on that a few weeks ago. It is, it's pink chocolate. And
it tastes...
It's a bit
I
fruity.
think we decided it's white chocolate and fruity. That's what everyone kind of... Yeah.
There you go. You're all in there telling me what it is. It's like, it's Calabao, isn't it? I don't know what I did with the bag. I put it somewhere. That's fine. But that's what it is. It's ruby chocolate. It's pink.
You can see the tree demonstration on the screen in the right-hand side. Bottom left, right.
Oh yes, you can see my cake from last week is there still, which was done in the ruby chocolate. Right, this is where we are now. Let me show you what's going on. So that's where we are at the minute. You can see now it's almost melted. So you can see how long I've been going for. The cycles are roughly 2 to 3 minutes. So that's how long we've been going. When you get to the end of the cycle, it suddenly changes really, really quickly, and you have to watch it, because if you don't, what you'll find is you really will overheat it quite quickly. So the last bit is really important, to keep an eye on what it's doing. So again, I'm going to turn it back again so you can have another look. So it's doing this at the moment. So there's not much evidence left of any buttons, but we obviously can't do anything with this. So we're going to need probably 2 more cycles, and then I think we'll be there. Just scrape that off the side of the bowl. Pop that in.
If you use all amounts of chocolate, is the time the same? So like if you use like a kilogram or like 200 grams?
I forgot how long my microwave's on for then. I just had to turn it off. Is it the same? It will take a little bit longer if there's more of it. But it's the same rules regardless. So yeah, it's the answer to that question is it will vary purely by the amount. You know, if I had 2 kilos in here, it's definitely going to take me a little bit longer. So just keep an eye on it. Start with 30 seconds and then 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir. Just keep going from that point onwards. You just keep going that way.
Where can you get your chocolate?
What chocolate?
Your chocolate. Calabao.
Calabao is on Carol's on the Sugar and Crumbs page. You'll be able to find it on there.
You also have
I've
some.
got some on mine as well. You will find it on there. Right, so we're at this stage now. Where are we? Okay, so again, it's quite thick. We need another 10 seconds on that, I think. So pop that back in. I think you had chocolate yesterday evening as well, didn't you? So you've got a double whammy of chocolate this week. That's not a bad thing, is it? Can't say no to a lot of chocolate. Right, let's have a little look. Almost there. So remember what we're looking for, which is the consistency of double cream. So we are at the point where the chocolate is dropping, but it's not flowing yet. So let's give it a bit more of a stir before we incorporate any more heat, because sometimes just by doing that, it can be enough. It needs a tiny bit more. So if you follow this exactly, you won't go wrong, okay? It's very important you follow it. Okay, that should do it. That looks fine to me. Okay. Now, one thing I will say is you don't want to spill your cup of tea on your transfer sheet like I did this afternoon. I literally took a slurp of tea, walked across the room, looked down, and I'd spilt tea all across my transfer sheet and it melted. Took the pattern off. Don't do this when you have a cup of tea in your hand. Right, okay, I'm just going to unplug my phone because it's on charge. Lift my camera up a bit so you can see a bit better. Okay, right, so let's change camera. Rough side up, I've got a cake board under here. That's the smooth side, this is the rough side, and I'm going to pour this chocolate onto the sheet. I'm going to put it all on. Let's see how much I've got first. Oops, I've just knocked something off, Kelly. You go and rescue that for me. So all I'm going to do now is just spread this chocolate quickly. You don't want to be mucking about with this for too long. Don't knock the camera over. And then like so. So spread it over as quick as you can. There you go, come up a bit so you can see. So you can't see the transfer sheet. You can on this side because I haven't spread it quite to the edge. Okay. And then you'll see at the moment it's quite shiny, but very quickly it will start to set. Thank you, Kelly. You're welcome. If I move that out of the way, there we go, like so. All right, so now we're just going to play the waiting game for the minute and just see what happens. So at the moment it's shiny, and very quickly it will change and it will become, I'm going to hold that, Kelly, while you walk past it. Right, go on. I've got to hold my camera for a minute because Kelly's on the move. Only because I've knocked a load of stuff off the table. Okay, there we go. Right, she's out. Okay, so we are waiting now for this to set. So we'll be in a few minutes, literally a few minutes.
Oh, sorry. It's
very quick.
How much are transfer sheets?
Right, transfer sheets vary. They can be anything between £3.50 and about £5.20 something, and it's down to how many colours are on the sheet. So if it's a single colour, like white, then they're down the £3.50 end, and if it's there's one called Rosies, which is the most expensive one. It has 3 or 4 colours on it. Then they go up to 5 something. So it's to do with the amount of colours that are on there. Mainly. Who just said something else about it?
Is the chocolate thick? Did we do that one?
No, we didn't. It's thickish. It's not really thin. I can't see the transfer sheet. Let me go back so you can have a look. I haven't done the outside edge bit because it's hanging off my cake board here, so that's why I haven't done that. So at the moment it's just starting to dry. If I touch it there, you can see it's dry, but in the middle here it's still wet. So I need to wait a little bit, another minute or so for it to dry. It does set really, really quickly. You won't ever have a problem with this setting if you follow what I've just done. So it was very straightforward. It literally was 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir, and then I'll say, Kelly, thank you. And then you say it will start to set. If it isn't setting this quickly, you've overheated it. Now, if you wanted to test it beforehand, check to see what was going on, to see whether or not it was going to work, what you can do is you can put a little blob of chocolate sort of on the side or on the back of a teaspoon, keep stirring your chocolate, and then wait for 1 to 2 minutes. Now, if it's touch dry after 1 to 2 minutes, it's going to be fine. You'll have no problem at all. You see, it always dries from the outside edge in. So the middle bit there is still a little bit wet at the moment. So we're just going to hold on a tiny bit further, and then we'll be able to do that.
How long do transfer sheets last?
Right, so if you buy a transfer sheet, you've got a couple of years on them. They're brilliant. You just roll them up and you stick them in your cupboard. And when you want them, you unroll them, you cut off what you want to use, and then you roll them back up again and put them back in your cupboard. So they are a good 2 years. They're really, really good. It's just like having food colouring to use in the house, really. So as long as you keep them like that, we send them out rolled up. So once you've got them, just keep them the way we've sent them and you'll be fine. So we're nearly there now. You see, it's now almost dry. It's a tiny bit tacky in the middle, but it's near enough dry. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut out some short shards, I'm going to describe them as. So we're going to cut them at an angle so that we're going to be able to kind of create the look of a wreath by using some different shapes tonight rather than just cutting sort of straight lines. So that's what we're going to do. Well, that's the plan anyway. So it's there, it's almost there. It's worth waiting for. It's like watching paint dry, literally. So once we've got that far, let me please note that I do not have this on a pink board. It is on a cake board, before anybody says anything. All right, so it's on an old cake drum. And all I'm going to do is just take a sharp knife and I'm just going to run this straight down there. Now, you can have the issue where it will lift, so you do need to be a bit careful and fairly quick with this once you get going. So all I'm going to do is just take hold of my knife and I'm just going to score it. So I'm not trying to cut through it. I'm going to just cut through at a diagonal, like so. I can just about see over the top of my camera, so hopefully you can see what's going on. Okay. So now we could just snap these, but the thing is with that, I personally don't think you've got a lot of control over it when you're just snapping them. I like to actually know what shapes I'm getting. So I prefer to cut them, but you really do need to do this before. You need to do this before it dries, because once it dries you will only be able to snap them. All
If
right.
you want to use the sheet for chocolate shards as a gift, so I guess like the chocolate shards on their own, would you make it more smooth?
It doesn't matter, to be honest, it'd be smooth on the other side, you see. It doesn't really matter what this side looks like. You could do if you want to, it's up to you. I'm not too worried about the back bit because I'm going to look at the front bit, so it's entirely up to you. You can do that. Right, we are there. I'm just going to do this final bit over this side. Okay, so you can see I've cut sort of a bit of a diamond type pattern, but again there's nothing on there that's particularly specific. I've just gone for it quite randomly, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pop them in the fridge and they will go in there for approximately 20 minutes or so, but I have backup ones anyway. Right, let's put these in here. If I can get this board in the fridge, hopefully I will. Right, get it in the door. Magic. Lovely. That went well. Excellent news. Right, that's that bit done. Now let's have a look at the decorations that we're going to use for the cake tonight. So we've tempered chocolate already, so I'm not going to go through that with you again, but I am going to just talk to you about some of the things that you can do, because I don't want to keep repeating myself, otherwise yeah, it's going to take too long. We'll miss the bake-off final. So what I've done here, I have made, let's do these first. So for my decorations for my wreath, now this has huge potential with this. So you have got the opportunity to decorate this in any which way that you want to do it. So once you've done this assorted sort of branches look that we're going to do at the start, you can put anything on this, literally anything, and you can change your colours, even changing the chocolate underneath the Christmas branches one will give you a different effect. So I've made some bits and pieces that we're going to use, and I'm going to paint a little few bits as well to go on this wreath, but it has massive potential, so you can change this around, but I'm just going to show you a way I've done it, and then you can work what you'd like to do from here. We went through pink phase last week, pink and white phase, everything was pink and white. So this week we're is going down the more traditional route, but anyway, we'll have a look at these. So this is a star mold. Okay, you'll see these little stars in here, and I made these with dark chocolate. They are lovely, tiny little bites. Well, that's a silver one, let's not do that one. Let's put that one out of the way. I painted that one. Right, let's turn them over. Okay, when you do chocolate, it should literally just fall out of the mould. It shouldn't be difficult to come out like that. Well, there's some chocolate ones that I did earlier. They are lovely little bite-sized chocolate ones. They are, this mould is on the website. It's Stars, it's called Stars mould. So there you go. So that's those. I've got those there. Now you can paint them. If you wanted to change the colour of something like this, you can paint them to something like this using cocoa butter and some lustres, which I will show you shortly. So you can do that. So if you don't like the stars this colour, you can paint them. And there's all sorts of lovely lustre colours available. I'm looking around for where my container is now. Can you find, well, you choose, Kelly, because you're good with colours. Kelly will find us a colour.
Mystic silver, mystic gold.
Mystic.
Gold rush.
Gold, what was that one? That looks like Gold Rush. No, it's Gold Rush. We'll have Gold Rush. Right, so we're going to paint some of these Gold Rush. There we go. And also, so those are for part of my decoration, so I'm just going to leave those there. And then also I made these earlier today. Let's bring these over. You'll like these. I made some little red presents from this present mold here, so these are really, really sweet. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to paint some little white dots on them so that they look really pretty like that. So this is the present mold. Now this chocolate is red. You have a choice how you do this. You can either do it with candy melts, or you can do it with white chocolate and you can dye it with red colour mill, or you can dye it with red dust. It's entirely up to you, but whatever you do, don't do it with this stuff. Let me list this. Don't do it with this, okay? This is no good at all. So don't use any gels at all for dyeing your chocolate. You do need to be using something like what I've just said. So either colour mill, which you'll find on Carol's site, or you'll need to use candy melts, some red candy melts. So all I'm going to do is, while everything's in the fridge, I'm just going to show you how to paint these. So when you come to paint chocolate, you know you've got to use cocoa butter, okay? It doesn't work with anything else. Please don't try and paint chocolate with gels, it won't work. It will work. You'll paint them and they'll look lovely, and then you'll touch them and they'll fall off. So you've got to use cocoa butter for this. So I'm going to set that up for you now.
Right. I have Calabout 70, 30, 38. It's so bitter. How can I make this nicer, please?
Ooh, I'd probably mix it with, I would probably
White chocolate.
mix it with white chocolate maybe. Just do a half and half. So get half of that chocolate and half of some white and maybe mix it together. I don't know, but I mean, it's worth a try, isn't it, if it's not working for you. Let me just explain what I'm doing here. So this is a chrome food warmer with a heat element underneath it, which is a tea light. You don't have to use this. You can just use a bowl of boiling water if you don't have a system like this. Is a chrome food warmer. You find them on Amazon. They're roughly about £10, something like that. And then on top of that, I'm going to put a metal paint palette with some cocoa butter in there. You can see it there already. In fact, I'm going to move that one and put it over this side.
Have you seen the new metallic colours from Natalie Porter?
I haven't.
Apparently you'd love them.
I'd love them, would I? I better get some then, hadn't I?
And could you coat the present mould with chocolate, then fill them with ganache?
Yes.
To make them like a truffle?
Yes, yes, yes. These are deep enough that you can do that. So you could coat them with chocolate with a paintbrush or something, fill them up with ganache or some sort of praline filling, something like that, and then coat them over again. So these are deep enough to do that. The stars are not. You won't be able to do it with the stars, but you will be able to do it with the presents. So if you want to do that, absolutely fine. Now what's happening here is the tea light is heating up the metal paint palette and the cocoa butter is starting to melt. You will see it melt quite quickly whilst I've got this live. So we're going to paint with dust. So I've got a couple of dusts here today. I've got this one, which is an edible art one. It's called Snowflake. It's just a white matte dust. So any white dust will do, doesn't matter. I'm just going to tap that there. And then we're going to use Gold Rush. I'm now looking around for another paintbrush. Is there any paintbrushes over there? Yeah, I've got one. Actually, what is this size? No, is there another one?
I got...
No, not that one.
2?
Yes, number 2.
It's dirty.
That's fine, we can clean that, no problem. Right, so Gold Rush. We'll pop that in here. So this is like a rose gold type colour. It's quite pretty actually. And we'll just paint a few of these stars as well. So we have some options. Okay, what we're doing this. Right, so you do need a little bit of kitchen roll paper towel. All I'm going to do is just add a few decorations to these. Now you could make these in white. Yeah, there we are. Pass me one over. Brilliant. Which I did do at the weekend, and I painted it with a pink bow. So if you wanted to do a white one, oh look, thank you, Kelly. So that's a plain white one without the pink bow painted, and then I've made them in red. So you can make them in whatever colour you want to make them in. So if you want to make them in, you know, blue and green and all those different colours, you can. You can paint the whole thing if you want to. So you could paint the parcel. It might be a little bit more tricky because there's sort of lots of bow bits on there, but it is totally possible. If you want to sit and do something like that, you could do that. So that's what they look like white. This is what they look like red. I've got red ones tonight for this particular project, so that's the difference between the two. Right, let's pop those over there. So, right, so all I'm going to do, I'm just going to get this black out of my brush because I was busy earlier today doing more painting. Right, so all you're going to do is very simply just put the brush into the cocoa butter, pick up the white and just give it a little bit of a mix. So we're going to make quite a thick white paint, and all I'm going to do is just paint a few dots on these parcels. I'm not going to do anything particularly spectacular, but I'm just going to paint them on there, and I'm just trying to reiterate the point that it's very important that you use cocoa butter. All right, really, really important. Please don't try and do this with gels because it won't work. It will fall off. So I've got quite a narrow brush here. This is my 0 brush. It's quite small, and all I'm going to do is literally just put a few dots on here. Now what I might have to do is pick this up so you can see it. So if I lift that up there, hopefully you'll be able to see it. If not, I will go in a bit further. Whether I can paint dots and hold at the same time, I'm not sure, but I'm going to give it a go. So I'm just going to paint a few little white dots onto the red. Just literally dab it on like that. I can keep them quite small, like that. And see, it's just quite pretty. You can get very carried away with this. You can end up painting quite a lot. Actually, it doesn't need huge amounts of this. So let's get a bit more white paint on there. So you want it to be fairly thick so it stands out. If it's quite thin, then you won't be able to see it and it won't cover. So you do need the paint to be quite thick. I'm just going around the sides here. You probably get a better view now than you did a minute ago. Okay. And they will dry very quickly, so between 1 and 2 minutes they will be dry and you'll be able to handle them like so. There we go. So you've got a little, there we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? Can you see that now? So I've just painted that sort of a little kind of polka dot type thing. So let me just very quickly, I'm going to do 4 actually, I decided earlier today. So I'm just going to do the 4. So they won't take very long. I'm going to actually put it down because then I'll be able to do it quicker. So all you need to do is get your brush, get some paint on it and just put your spots on like that. Don't make them too big. You want to make these in advance of doing your cake. You can make them 2 or 3 weeks ahead as long as you store it in something that doesn't, so no light, no smell, and no heat. You can store chocolate. All right, so if you can put it in a nice bag or something that's going to just keep it away from anything that smells, or don't keep it near your fire or the radiator, then you should be fine. So if you're trying to get organised for Christmas, if you're sort of thinking, oh, I'd love to do this cake, but I can't fit all this in at the last minute, then do these bits in advance. That includes anything in chocolate, truffles, trees, stars, anything. You can do it in advance. If you put, I'm sure you've had lots of, you've had Ollie on, haven't you, doing truffle making, so I'm sure he's given you loads of tips about making truffles in advance for Christmas. So lots and lots of options there to do that. I'm just going round quite quickly now, so it doesn't take very long, and I'm sure you may well do this more precisely than me as I'm live. And it does take time, so we're nearly there. So next week I won't feel panicked, you see, because that I won't be rushing about for this final, this Great British Bake Off final, because I'm always conscious that you want to go and watch it, you see, and I'll be watching it as well. I quite like it, so I will be seeing that shortly. So remember, these are red chocolate, so these are also chocolate which you can make with either white chocolate with colour mill mixed into it or candy melts, red candy melts. Any of those is fine. Candy melts doesn't taste perhaps as nice as the chocolate, but it's up to you. You might find, you know, candy melts is your thing, then that's fine. It's only a little bit of decoration, just remember that. So it's not a huge amount of the cake, so it's just a little bit there. Right, nearly there. They look quite sweet, don't they? My cake is actually not that big, and that's the other thing as well, is you can get carried away making all these decorations and actually your cake isn't big enough to take them all. So don't go too mad with it, because otherwise you're going to end up with too many. I'm not going to have that other one because I won't have enough space. And then I can either keep these dark, or if I wanted to change them and put them into gold, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. Again, I've just been painting with more pink this afternoon, so let me just get rid of that. So I'm just cleaning my brush. Just clean it like so. And then this is called Royal Gold, so let's pop them on here. These are great. I love this because this looks quite rustic. So when you take hold of your luster colours with your cocoa butter,
Just why can't you use normal gel colours again?
because it won't fix to the chocolate. You'll be able to paint chocolate, no problem with gel colour, but it will fall off. So it'll look amazing, and then you touch it and it'll just fall off. Cocoa butter fixes it. Okay, it's really important that you actually fix it to the chocolate so it doesn't come off. It will come off if you rapidly rub it, but it will. You need something that sticks to chocolate, so that's why cocoa butter is the answer. It's just the way it is. So this one here, again, you can see, I actually quite like the fact this doesn't totally cover, and you get this kind of rustic look about it. I'm going to pick this up so you can see it, see the difference between the two. So that's actually quite a nice effect, I think, on that one. So we'll just do a few of these, and then we've got some comparison here when we put it together. Because in my mind, I've done this cake, you see, but I haven't actually done it yet. So I'm winging it, as Carol would say. Who knows what we're going to...
Same as every week.
Same as every week. We've had some good cakes though, Kelly, I must admit. Even I get to the end of the live and go, wow, that went well.
Sorry. When talking about we were talking about gel colours, can you mix in white chocolate?
Gel?
Yeah.
No, not white chocolate, because it's water based. You can only mix in can't mix gel colours. You can't mix, what did I do with that colour splash? You cannot mix that with chocolate because it will not work. You must use Colour Mill. Sugar Flare have got a brand, they've also got a range out that says for chocolate, but you mustn't put this in chocolate. It will work straight away and then it will instantly seize because it's water based. All right, so you can't do that. It won't work. So you want to put your gel colours away when you're dealing with chocolate because they're not going to work. You've got to use something else, okay? Gel colours, best thing for gel colours, buttercream. They are brilliant for buttercream, but not for this. So let's just paint all of these. We'll just do these 5 here. And then we've got some options. Then I've got 5 plain ones as well, you see, in case I change my mind. So I don't know until I put it together what I'm going to do. Again, these do dry really, really quickly. 1 to 2 minutes, and then it's all dry and fixed on there. So I don't need to worry about those coming off. These, I'll tell you what, if anyone ever does an advent calendar, these chocolates are brilliant sizes for those. So if you're setting up your own advent calendar at home, little pockets of chocolate and things, these are really good sizes for that. So there you go, it's another idea for you. So I'm full of ideas this week. There we go. So that's that. Okay, so if I pick this up now, you'll be able to see these a bit clearer. You'll be able to see what they've done. So there you go, like that. There's quite a big difference between the two. There we go, like that. And you can always repaint them when they're dry. So if you wanted the colour to be a little bit darker or perhaps less see-through than this is, then you can wait for them to dry and overpaint them again. And then you can get a deeper colour, because the joy of painting with cocoa butter is you can build up lots of layers. So if you want to actually let it set, then put another coat on, you can. But I'm quite happy with these like this. I quite actually like the fact you can still see a little bit of dark chocolate under there. So all good there. Right, okay, so we'll leave those to dry there. We're going to move that cocoa butter out of the way, so we're done with that. Let me just blow that out so I don't end up with it all over the place. Right, let's put that down there. Now, cinnamon sticks, let's do those next. So what I've done here, I have used cigarillos to do this. So I've made up a few already, but I'm going to show you how to do them. So chocolate cigarillos, which again are the available milk, white and dark, and I've had these on here a couple of times before on the reindeer cake and all these other cakes that I've done recently. I did it on the gingerbread cake and the pink Christmas tree last week. So if you do have some of these, this is a really good decoration to do. So all you're going to do is take your knife. Now you can heat this before you do it, or you can just saw it, which just about works. This is a green board, not a pink board, for anybody says anything. Okay, just as you get towards the bottom anyway, they'll just snap like that. So you've got them like that, and you can then pop one on top of the other. You have to eat that other one, you see, like so. Okay, and then all I've done is take a little bit of red ribbon, a little bit of thin red ribbon. This is where it gets, I'm juggling a little bit. This is why I did some of these in advance, you see. Right, so put that like that. Now you have to remember, obviously, if you do this, you're going to need to tell your customer not to eat the ribbon. I mean, hopefully they'll know, but just in case. Okay, I'm just going to cut that there for the moment. Turn that round. So these are my cinnamon sticks, you know, what you get on reeds. This is my idea for them anyway, so hopefully you appreciate this. All right, so we're going to just tie those together like that. Then I'm going to knot it the other way, like so. There we go, they're not going to move now, and then I'll do my bow. All right, so then I'm going to do a little bow on the top, hoping I haven't cut this too short. Pull it back a bit, and pull it back a bit more. I have cut it a bit short, but I'm going to make this work. Kelly, help. Right, now let's do it again. Right, another attempt. Attempt number 2.
It's kind of a bit of ribbon.
No, it's all right. I will do it. It's fine. There we go. That's better. Look at that magic. All right, like so. And then you can just cut the ends of the ribbon down then if you don't want them to be too long. So I've made a few of these because they look like quite fun, don't they? So cinnamon sticks. So there we go. So I've made a few bundles of those as well. I made these earlier. So all I've done for those is just cigarellos, cut in half, and then I put 3 of them together. And obviously if you've got a few of them, you can make a few. You can make them in milk, white or dark. So anything like that. If you have got them, if you've bought boxes of them before in the past, they have quite reasonable sell-by dates on them. They're certainly well into next year now, the stock that's in. So you will be able to use them for different projects. And I do use them quite a lot on my projects, all sorts of different things. But there we go. So we've got parcels here. We have got a few stars. We've got some cinnamon sticks. So we've got our decorations. Now we're going to start tackling the cake and get that sorted. So let's do that. All right, I'm just moving a few bits out of the way. Let's put that over there. Right, so let's go back to the cake screen. There we go. Right, so this is our cake. Now, what I'm going to do with this is, let's take this off first, is I have got it on a turntable as well, just to keep myself going here. Right, let me just lock this so it doesn't keep going in and out. Can you just press
You're
that?
only on 10% on here.
Okay, I haven't got long on this camera, so if it goes dead, we'll be on the other one. So I've got a circle in the middle. I'm not going to cut that out. I'm just going to mark it, and I'm actually going to just pipe some brown buttercream in the middle, because what I don't want to do is lose any cake particularly. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to have a look overhead actually and just check. So all I'm going to do is just literally just take this round cutter and just mark it. So I've got a little round area in the middle. If anybody wants to know what that size is, let me just find the size. Did you lock that screen? Oh, well done. Right, it's a 3 inches across there. Okay, so that's the bit I've put in the middle, and this is an 8-inch cake, so it's quite a lot of cake to do. So let's bring in the buttercream. Here we go. I'm hoping it's not gone too rock hard, because I'm finding, and I'm sure everybody else is at the moment, that with the weather being so cold, the buttercream is setting rapidly all the time. So let's see what it's doing. So I have got here some brown buttercream. So this is, I'll show you there. Okay, so this is buttercream mixed with colour splash again, nice brown colour. And I'm going to just pipe round the edge of the cake. Also, let me just lean across here and get my bag. And then I'm going to pipe in the middle here as well, so it looks like the centre of the wreath. What I might do, Kelly, can you just get me a little cup of water, please? I'm just going to put a tiny bit more water in this because it is quite stiff. Thank you. Top. Okay, so we'll put a little bit more water in here. So if you ever find your buttercream is getting particularly difficult, then just add a little bit of water. Someone will say to me in a minute, why not milk? Well, the problem with milk is you just increase your chances of it going off, I think. So I just tend to stick to water. Okay. So there you go, it's going like that now. So it's just a bit softer, just make it a little bit easier to pipe with. Now I was also going to crumb coat it, which means I need a tiny bit more water in there, and I'm going to just put that slightly to one side, like so. Because if I don't have this soft enough, what will happen is when I start spreading it on the cake, it will start tearing all the cake up, so we don't want that. So you need that buttercream to be nice and soft, and I'm just going to run that round the edge first. So what I'm going to do I'm literally just going, it might pull up a little bit, well, it's pulling up a tiny bit. If it's soft enough, you should be able to just get round your cake. I'm only going to use a little bit at a time. And that's also the key as well, is don't use too much buttercream in one go, just go backwards and forwards. Are we seeing it? Yes, we are. That's good. Okay. Hopefully we'll get this side bit done before my camera decides to give up. What's it on? Does it tell you? Look. No, okay. Okay, so just going around the side of the cake there. Remembering obviously that the buttercream needs to be nice and soft. I'm going to pipe this in a minute. What I want to do is just crumb coat this first. This little bit. I've done my usual, made absolutely tons of buttercream. I'm a devil for this. I've made so much brown buttercream. Oh dear. We need to find something with brown buttercream, Kelly, for the next couple of days, I think. Reindeer. I need to do something in reindeers, I think. Okay, so round we go. Okay, so we just kind of crumb coat that. We can just move it onto the cake like that. It won't matter particularly, so this will all be covered anyway. And then we've got that little circle in the middle, and I'm just going to fill that in as well, just so that when I pipe it, it doesn't matter if I miss a bit, because you won't see the cake. So I'm just going to clean my board up a little bit. Just run my palette knife round. I'll just take my kitchen roll and just give that a wipe as well. There we go. Right, okay, so let's get this into the bag before the camera gives up. All I'm going to do is pipe a little swirl on the outside edge using a 1M nozzle for this particular part. Where's the camera? There it is. Okay, so nothing too complicated. 5%, okay, right. We'll do this quickly. Let's move that back a bit. So I'm just going to take my nozzle and I'm going to hold it on the side of my cake, and I'm just going to do a swirl that goes around like so, literally like that. Let me do that again. So I'm going to have to take it off the turntable because I can feel it moving as I'm doing this and it's driving me crazy. So let me just put that over there for a second. Right, you can still see, so that's fine, just about anyway. So all I'm going to do is just hold my nozzle there and just go round in a circle. It doesn't have to be particularly precise because we're not going to see it. I'm just doing this to kind of keep this all sort of nice and tidy on the side. So round we go. Like so. I'm worried about that camera, is it?
It's fine.
It's all right for the minute, is it? Okay. We're going to be switching to the other camera in a second anyway, so it won't matter. Just need it for this little bit. Okay, so we'll just pop some more buttercream in there. Don't overfill your bags. It's better to reload your bag than it is to fill it all up, put tons of buttercream in. You're better off filling it that way. Okay. Again, just keep moving it round. So you could do this in chocolate if you wanted to, a bit of chocolate buttercream. Remember, this cake isn't particularly deep. The cakes are normally sort of two lots of this deep, but I didn't want it to be particularly deep, so that's why I did it this way. Okay, nearly there. So that will be the side of our cake. And the whole time we've been doing all of this, all our chocolate decorations will have set. So that includes the transfer sheets, all the cocoa butter will have dried, everything will be drying out ready for us to put this together. And once we start putting it together, it will go together very, very quickly. Okay, right, round again. Right, so that's that bit. So we can now change cameras. Let's switch to the other camera. Let's move that out of the way. And then we can just focus on the top half. So let's move things around. There we go. All right, so that's the top half of this now. And you can see where I did that circle there. If you want to be really sure where it is, you can always put the circle back on just to mark it. So you actually get in the circle and not everywhere else. And then all I'm going to do is just literally just do a few little swirls just to fill it up. So I'll put them quite close together. Right, a couple more. Let's put that under the camera so you can see. And then once we've done that, we're going to pipe the top with green buttercream. And then we're going to put the shards on. Then we're going to add our decorations. So that's where we are at the moment, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so we'll do that there. And we'll do one more there, and you can put another one in there for luck if you want to. So that's the centre of it, so that's fine. We don't need to worry about anything else. And now we're going to switch over to green. Now with this I found there is a colour splash colour called leaf green, which I found worked the best with this particular transfer sheet. So that is what I've made up. And we're going to be using this nozzle, which is called Tulip. It's one of the nifty nozzles. I used it last week as well, I believe. Yes, I did. I am a big fan of this one. So let me show you what that looks like. That's this one here. That's called Tulip. Palette knife, Kelly. Have we got any over there? If we haven't, I'll jump in the drawer and get one. Where's the brown? Can you just give that one a quick wash so that we haven't got brown going all over it? We're just going to swap over. So we're going to be using this nozzle here. We're going to pipe green all over the top of this. Then we're going to push those shards in and add the decorations that way. That's the plan anyway. There you go. What did I do with that thing that was behind me a minute ago? Right. There you go. Thank you. Lovely. Okay, so again, buttercream that I made earlier. So of course it's now set like cement. So we don't want that happening, especially through these nozzles. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to add a little bit of water again. Okay, and I'm going to take my mixer, just give it a bit of a blast. So hold on, make sure it's all plugged in. I think it's all plugged in. Put that down there. It is. So no, it's not. Haven't switched it on. Let's switch it on. Are we going to go? No. Where is it, Kelly? Where's the back of this gone? It's plugged somewhere. Where is it? Hold on. Food mixer moment. We're just going to find the food mixer plug. It's all wrapped up in the other plug. So is it? No, it's not that one, is it? Is it that one? No, it's not that one. Kelly's now investigating the food mixer. This one? We just investigate the food. One? Which one? Have you tried that one? No, it's not that one. Where's the end of the plug?
Unplugged.
Unplugged. Oh, that's why it's not working then. You see, that is the problem here. We forgot to plug in the food mixer, so we're just now plugging the food mixer. Oh no, don't turn it on. Yeah, go on. Oh, it's working now. Perfect. Right, we will now continue. Okay, so we'll just give this a quick whiz. So we want this soft enough so that we can get it through the bag. Okay, I'm going to go a tiny bit more water with this because I want to make sure I can actually get this through easily. There we go. That looks fine to me. Julie's on. Julie's one of my students, and nothing's changed, Julie. I'm still as bad as I'm laughing now because that's just the sort of thing I would have done in class, actually. Exactly, isn't it? I forgot to turn on the food mixer. Yeah, nothing would surprise me. Right, let's put some of this into this bag. Now, what we want to do, again, is not overload this bag. We want to do this in several bits. So down to the end there, that's the nozzle. Let me show you again so you know what it is. It's that one. Right, let's bring this in. Okay, right, so we're now going to move that out of the way. We're now going to pipe the top of this. Now, I could crumb coat this, but I'm probably not going to. The only reason I did the sides because it's more difficult to see, and I've got so much stuff going on the top of this. Actually, I don't think I need to do it. So I'm going to start by going around. So we're not going to see a lot of this. It's all going to get covered in chocolate, but anything we can see, I'd rather they saw something beautiful rather than just a load of sort of smeared icing. So that's why I've done this. Could just do this anyway and not do the transfer, but I think the transfers are going to be a little bit different. That's what we're going for. Slightly different look. So this is your base part at the moment. Okay, just refilling my bag. And we'll just carry on. Now, if you mess one up, it doesn't matter because you can stick a bit of chocolate on it. I didn't fill this with buttercream. I'd just like to point that out. I just had cake and nothing else, so I felt that there'd be enough buttercream on here anyway. You don't need to add even more buttercream. I think there'll be enough. So there's no centre to this. Again, just fill it up again. This is when I look on the overhead camera and then I can see what if I've left any gaps. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's only when I look up that I go, oh, what have I been doing? Right, let's just get this air out and we continue. So I've messed that one up a bit, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. I bet you're all waiting with bated breath to see how this turns out. Do you know what? So am I. I'm waiting to see how it turns out too. Oh dear, I'm sure it'll be fine. We have these ideas, don't we, Kelly? And then we just have to materialise them and hope it goes well. Time-wise, we will be finished before the bake-off, so if anybody's panicking about that, we will be done before. So don't worry, you won't miss anything. But I might be here a bit longer next week. If I know my luck, next week it'll all be done really, really quickly. But I won't feel quite so panicked. Right, there we go, we're getting there. So this was an 8-inch round cake, don't forget, so it's quite a big surface area. Yes, I'm winging it. Is it?
Always.
Always. We've been lucky, I'll tell you, haven't we, Kel? We have. I've got to the end of these demos and gone, oh, I really like that cake, that was good.
Marion said we're used to it.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Right, there we go. So it doesn't matter particularly how they turn out because we're going to put the chocolate in a minute. So right, there we go. So that's that bit covered. So we're now ready to put our chocolate pieces in. So we're going to get the stuff out of the fridge. I'm going to just move these beaters out of the way because I can guarantee that I will end up knocking it. So let me get the chocolate out of the fridge. Okay, right, let me move this. I'm just going to put this in front. Right, now we've got a couple of bits here, including backup. Let me move this over there for a second so you can see how lovely this is. So this is the white chocolate. And I'm going to just, so we've set it on here and we've scored it. And this is what you're going to get, this kind of shiny sort of branch look. Can you see? That's the pattern that's called Christmas branches. So we're going to need a few of these. So I've cut lots of different shapes, as you can see. Some of them are definitely not the same shape, but that's what we want. I want it to be kind of a bit jagged. Well, that's what I had in my mind anyway. This is the moment now, Kelly, where we do where we know whether or not this is going to work. Ah, no pressure. Okay, it's fine. I think this is the one I spilt my tea on this afternoon. There we go. So we've got a selection of lots of bits. So let's get this in. Hold on, I'm going to move that water out of the way because that will be the next thing I'll knock over. You can take the brown buttercream away, Cal. All right, so we're going to bring that in here. And then what we'll do is we'll start on the outside edge. And we're just going to push these pieces in at sort of different angles, I think. Is that what we're going to do, Kelly? Just going to put them in at different angles.
Yeah. You're winging it as much as I am.
I know. You don't say yes, because if it goes wrong, I'll be going, Kelly. Yeah? Oh, looks cool. Okay, they're impressed. That's fine. So we'll work our way around this. So you do need a few to do this. This is an 8-inch round cake. So let's work out. Now see, what I need you to do is slightly change the direction of this so that you don't end up with them all looking the same. We don't want it to look like a sort of a span of it. We want it to look sort of different shapes. You'll see what I mean as we go. So this one is called Christmas Branches. If anybody is thinking, what is this? It is called Christmas Branches. It is a transfer sheet.
Just going to put your website.
And what we've done is we have, so we're putting them in now at different angles. You need to keep them fairly flat open because that's what the wreath is going to look like. You're going to look down on it, aren't you? So that's all of those little bits used. Okay, so also it goes out as far as the sides as well. Now you can understand now why I haven't done a very deep cake, because you don't want a deep cake. The focus is on the top. So let's get the next sheet out. So we did quite a few sheets of this. We've done, I think if anybody wants to attempt this in this size, you're going to need to do 2 transfer sheets because I don't think one is enough. Because you want quite a lot. So now again we just carry on coming in towards this and we just keep changing. Have you got a second set for me? Brilliant. I might need them, I don't know. I might eat
ready if you need them.
I might eat my words in a minute and say I didn't need them. Okay, so we'll just keep going. I don't eat them.
No, I'm eating the extra.
Oh. Is there any extra, Kenny?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to snap them, you can do that as well. So, you know, if you want to change the size of one, perhaps one's too big, you can always just snap them. Okay, let's get a few more. You might be all right with one. It's tight. Now I'm going to lay them down a little bit more flat as we get towards the centre. So they don't stand up. I don't want them to stand. I want them to lay flat. Can you see okay? Yeah, everything's looking okay. So as we get them towards the middle, lay them flatter. You might do it in one actually, having said all of that.
But it's one with no extra little snacks.
One with no snacks, according to Kelly. Okay. Well, I'm bringing you different Christmas, I think, that's for sure. 101 uses of transfer sheets. I'll tell you what, they're some of the most exciting things ever to use. I absolutely love them. Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Lots of different sizes, but as you get towards the middle, flatten them down a bit further. Have we got some other ones? Thank you. Oh, that's come out really lovely actually.
I told you.
I know, you told me.
Everyone says it looks lovely.
It does look lovely, doesn't it? I haven't even put our decorations on yet, and we're at lovely stage. Okay, a few more. You are going to need 2 transfers actually, because we are now on to our next lot. If you do this size, you might want to do a smaller one. It's a chocolate feast, isn't it, this? Right, so making sure these are lying down flat. Okay, let's tuck all those bits in there. Just need a couple of small bits now. I'll just use them.
Just use the end bits.
Yeah, just to tuck, just to cover that bit of buttercream there.
Some little ones there.
I've got a bit carried away there, you see, so I just need to cover that up. I can always actually, having said that, just literally just go over this bit here again. So if I wanted to make sure I can't see any green, I could always just go around that again like so, but I don't really want to draw too much highlight to the middle. Right, now Let's flatten that down a little bit. Let's put on our decorations. So we can attach these with buttercream or chocolate. It doesn't matter. What should we put them on with, Kelly?
Buttercream.
We do it with buttercream.
You've made tons.
I know I have. I've made absolutely tons. So let's do it. We'll do it with the green buttercream. So that's where we are at the moment. So you can see how lovely that is even without adding in any decorations. But let's put some decorations on as well. So we have our parcels. So I'll put those on first. So what I'm going to do is take a parcel and a little bit of buttercream on the back there, and I'll just position that about there, I think. So I'm going to have to watch the overhead camera as I do this to see what it looks like. So we've got 4 of these, so we'll put another one there. And then we'll put another one. Oh, you can always tuck them under as well, so there's another thing you could do there. And we'll put another one there. Where should we put that one? That one there, like so. All right, so we've got those on, and now we can put on our, we'll put the cigarellos on next because they're quite big. Okay, so we'll put one there, shall we? And another one here, like so. And another one there. And let's just tip that at an angle. Yep, lovely. And another one, where are we? Pop that one in there, move that over a little bit. I'm leaving a gap at the bottom here because I'm going to put a bow there, you see, so that's why I've done that. And then we take out stars. Now, actually, I think I might go for the dark ones. Let's have a look. I quite like the dark ones. Let's do the dark ones. So we're going to put those on. Now, again, you can stick those wherever you like. So a little bit of buttercream on there. So you can use both or painted ones, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes it's when you put it together you start going, oh yeah, definitely that's what I need to be using. So we can just work it out from there. Actually, I'll tell you what would look nice in the middle, Kelly, is some dark chocolate curls. I've got some.
Is that an indication of Kelly go get me some dark chocolate curls?
It's okay, yes, there they are. If you can get them off that shelf. We could use that instead. There we go, look at that. And then we could put some dark curls into the middle. So dark chocolate curls could go in there, look, like so. I think I'm happy with that rather than buttercream. That looks a bit better. There we go, like that. And what else was I going to do? Well, my bow. Now I did make a bow because I knew I'd be covered in buttercream at this point.
How would you store this cake?
Just in a box. Don't need to put it anywhere particularly special. Just a box would be fine. Now, where's my scissors gone?
In front of you.
In front of me, okay. Right, let me just cut this bow. So I then have a bow which you can add. So I just made a fabric bow earlier today. So again, you could just pop that on the front if you want to. Again, you can just attach that with a little bit of buttercream, like so. Remove that there. So there we go. I'm going to put that on. I might as well put it on with a little bit of green buttercream, as that's what we've got going on. So we can just pop that in under there, like so. How are we doing? There we go. Okay, so we've got our bow on as well. So you can always make up a bow in advance. You can do an edible bow if you want to, but I'm quite happy with that one. And let's just put on another few extra stars. So put another one on there. So you can see what I mean about the potential with this. You can basically do whatever decoration you like. It's absolutely up to you. So if you want to put on lots and lots of
You've got some transfer sheet discs there.
Yes, we have. That's a very good point, actually.
Like little baubles.
So now we made these from another demo, and this is now let me get these out. These are little discs that we made that we can use as baubles. So you could actually attach these and put little bauble discs on there as well. I might be able to fit those on, actually. We're going for overkill now, Kelly. Should we put one on? So you could, as well as the transfers there, you could add little baubles on. Is that too much, Kelly? Kelly, my designer.
10 seconds behind.
Sorry? Is that too much?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. All right. Well,
It's
anyway,
still an example.
that's something else you could add instead of the presents. So if you don't want to do the presents, you could do the baubles instead. So if you wanted to put those round there, so think about the items that you're putting on here. I think you need really and truly 3 items to go on here. So we've picked presents, stars, cigarillos. You could pick something like these little discs and stars and cigarillos. So you can think about your layout and your change on it, and then you'll be able to work out exactly what it is that you need to make in order to be able to do your design. I think it looks absolutely fine like this. Now, if you wanted to put a little bit of snow on there, what do we do with the icing sugar? There it is. Or glitter. We like a bit of snow and glitter. You can always put some of that on there as well. So you could just put a little bit on there like that if you wanted to. Try not to have absolutely tons out. Well, there you go. We've got a nice snowy Christmas wreath now. So if you wanted to add snow to it, you can. Just a bit of icing sugar. And that is your Christmas wreath. So there we go. That is a chocolate Christmas wreath cake. All ready for you to do this Christmas. Hopefully it won't be too complicated for you. I think it makes actually a really nice Christmas cake or dessert really. So either or. It's pretty. It's the transfer sheet's what makes it really. And then again, just choosing whatever decoration it is that you want. And it, you know, you can put it down on the dinner table. You can take all these chocolate bits out, can't you? Excess chocolate, absolutely. Absolutely lovely, isn't it? So something different. And for those of you that follow me on Instagram, I will put a picture of it on Instagram so you can see. I didn't actually get a chance to do that today because I hadn't made it. So I had to wait until I could do it then.
How long do you leave the chocolate on the transfer sheets before you score it to make its shape?
Until it goes dull. It's as simple as that. So you're waiting for the chocolate to go from shiny to dull, not hard. If it goes hard, rock hard, you're going to struggle with it. So we wait for it to, you look at it visually. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. It can take, at the moment, because it's cold, it will take, it's a lot quicker.
Or alternatively, you could just cover the sheet and then wait for it to set and then just scrunch it and make shards.
Yeah, you can do, exactly. You don't have to have them cut out like I've cut them out. You can just snap them as you go. It's just I prefer to have everything a little bit more, that's just me, it's just the way I am. I just like everything to be a little bit more, I'd say organised, but that's not really the right word, is it? Just uniform, I think is a better word, and that's kind of how I prefer that to be. So that is our cake this evening. So there we go, all done. Right, we made it. We've got to the end. We've made it before the bake-off perfectly, 1:45. So I thank you very much for joining me this evening for the Christmas wreath cake. You see, this is where I stand up and have a look over it and go, oh, actually, that's not too bad. I'm quite pleased with that. That's what normally happens every time I do a demo. Sometimes when you're live, you don't appreciate exactly what it is you've done, but yeah, quite happy with that. So that's good. In my mind, that worked nicely. So I will be back again on Thursday morning at 11:30. So here on Sugar and Crumbs, doing, I suspect, a painting demonstration. I haven't worked that bit out yet, but I'm sure I will. And then I will be back again on Tuesday evening at 6:30, where I won't have to panic about finishing in time for the bake-off, so we can take a bit of time. And I've got a very nice design lined up for next week. I'm very organised for next week. I've already started to work that one out. So yes, much more organised next week. So I hope you like the Christmas wreath. I will take photos so you can see it. If you want to follow me on Instagram, there's my Instagram address coming up now. That's where you'll see all my cake designs, classes, all of those bits and pieces. My website, if you are interested in transfer sheets, then that's where it is. Please go over there and have a look. We do an assorted Christmas pack. If you can't decide what you want to do, we'll decide for you. The Christmas branches one is on there. If anybody's thinking of doing anything with transfer sheets coming out between now and Christmas, they are starting to go down in stock. And once they're out of stock, they're really difficult to get back in again. So in your mind, if you want to use the ones that have got the gingerbread on or any of those things, then please do get them in advance, because otherwise, if we run out, we run out. They do come from abroad and they are quite difficult to get in. So thank you very much for joining me for this evening. Come and say goodbye.
Okay.
There she is. There's my Kelly. So we've had a lovely evening.
Yeah,
she's a very good girl, aren't you, Kelly?
I've been eating all the chocolate.
So thank you very much, and I will see you on Thursday morning at 11:30. So bye from me and Kelly, and we'll see you soon. Bye.